That's right.
So I
That's
try
right.
not to judge too much. It's a crazy world we all live in, and we're all trying to get to the truth and make sense of it. But I love that you were rocking out to Creed. If you wouldn't have seen it on camera or on the stream, but Danica was literally I think it was like a soft headbang.
And there's a soft headbang, and I did the headbanger hands too,
Yeah.
which then I said was the part where they
It was.
thought that
It was.
Erica
I
was
love you.
doing.
Hand.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I just want, for the audience's sake, we're going to be bringing Jack Posobiec in just the next segment. We're going to talk about Antifa. We're going to talk about the Gaza peace deal, and Danica is going to sit around and hang with us for all of that, give her input. But in this segment, I want to give you a chance. I mean, you knew Charlie. You guys, we have pictures of. I'm sure the team's going to be putting that up on the B-roll. Charlie was recruiting you in a not so subtle way. Why don't you tell us about that and kind of some of your last interactions with him?
Yeah. Well, the last real interaction was not long after the election was over with, and Donald Trump was put in the powerful position that he needed to be put in. And he sent a text to me and said, I have something I want to talk to you. Call me if you have a minute. And I was like, that's awfully serious. And I know Charlie for sure, but I don't know him that well that it's like, what would this 911 kind of call be? So I called him, and he said, hey, we want you to run for Congress if you want to. We'll help you. We'll get that done. Like, he seemed very, very confident about that happening and that position to be in, which would be for Schweikert's seat. And then he said, if you like it, after 2 years, we'll help you run for Senate. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I think I just got hit by a tornado. Look, it's not the first time that people have said, are you going to run for office at some point or now? But I told him, I was like, look, this is a pretty big decision. I don't think this is something I want to do. But I have a lot more questions. And he's like, great, we'll get together. We'll talk about it, lunch or dinner or something. Whatever you ask, we'll talk about it. And we didn't end up having that lunch or dinner, that deeper conversation about it. I think that's about the point that he ran off to Mar-a-Lago for a couple of months and was doing the good work whatever he was doing. Probably doing what he did to me with a whole bunch of other people, given the fact
them into roles they didn't necessarily think.
Planning the next, 12 years of the country. Look, that was brought up. And so then when you contacted me about, talking about Tyler, talking about, running for...
I think maybe this would be a good time to bring Tyler in, Danica, because you were probably in the room for some of this strategizing.
Yeah, I mean... Obviously, we don't want to spring anything on you, and that's part of the conversation. I think the broader context of the conversation is this concern for Arizona, right? And where things are at. So I don't know what developed or didn't develop in that conversation, but what are some of your feelings on Arizona? I mean, with or without running, for office?
Yeah,
I think that what I see is I always see Trump flags, American flags. It always feels very Republican or conservative or American. It feels very... It's always surprising to me that it's a swing state. But so that's what I see. I think that, of course, we want to get people in position. I think that's what Charlie was so... he's just he was just so intelligent and
adamant.
And passionate and convincing. Like, I'm not saying that he would have not convinced me if we'd have had dinner and talked about all that.
So can I ask?
Yeah.
Are you considering elected office?
No, that's
breaking news.
That's breaking news.
That's breaking news.
Simple, straightforward, and to the point, which is how I operate. And that's why the answer to him was, "Wow, I don't think this will be what I want to do, but I have more questions." Mostly because of in the context of how many people have asked me about that. I don't know I don't feel like I am qualified to do that kind of thing, but obviously people can see something in me. And so I'm not going to rule that out forever, but at this point in time, that is a no. I am not running for office. However, I would love to learn more, and I would love to support the right candidates in their journey and getting into office and being able to keep this country going in the direction that it's going, the way it needs to go. And of course Arizona, to keep it, as many of these swing states as we can, convert over and put into power in the right way for the long run, is just such a guarantee for so many other things.
I'll just say this: the best candidates say they don't want to run. So that makes the best candidate.
We're going to channel our inner Charlie Kirk, and in the break, we're going to convince Danica Patrick to run for office. All right. So I'm going to take one quick second here, and we're going to bring in Jack. We got a lot to do here, but this is Chaley email. I'm a longtime listener and supporter of not only Charlie, but the entire Turning Point family. I know probably thousands and thousands have reached out to you at this past month. But if any of you ever needed another mouth to say how grateful we are and all the work you're doing, I will say it again. Thank you. Thank you so much. Halftime show from I'll just leave the name off. Skillet for the halftime show. Okay. Ashley says, I'd love to know more about the halftime show. It's happening. It's going to be in an arena. It's going to be a real production.
Is it going to be local here?
Maybe, probably. I would say probably. Jack posted a poll on Truth and X, I'm told, about the halftime show. Okay, so check out Jack's X for that. Maybe I'll have to do that. Danica, this one's for you. Please let Danica know, this is from Kevin, that feeling she isn't qualified is the primary reason many voters feel they are qualified, because not feeling qualified shows you truly realize the enormity of the task you undertake when you become an elected official that truly has a servant's heart and is not in it for oneself. And that's from Kevin. He's in Tennessee, not a voter for you potentially, but
it's true though. Everybody feels that way. The people want people who don't want to run for office. That's the number one qualifier when we talk to people. Is like, you don't want to run for office? Great, you can run for office.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
that tracks back to even when it was the beginning of last year, when campaigning was getting rolling, and it was who does Amaryllis on RFK's team.
Mm-hmm.
She contacted me because she wanted me to run at that point in Arizona for whatever was coming up. And again, I'm not qualified. I don't even remember exactly what seat it would have been, but she was talking to me about running. And what she had told me was, she's like, of course, that not wanting to run is usually a very good reason to run, that you should, and that you're this kind of person. But she said, look, these are it's meant to be someone that comes in from your local community that helps out locally. It's someone that's going to support your needs and wants and really reflect what is needed in your local community. And that a lot of times you come in and you go out. You go into office, you serve, and you come out. Yep. And what I will say from visiting the Hill and lobbying for a few different things over this last, 6 months or so in D.C. is that a lot of the senators and people from different states that I've met are these people. Yep. They are these people who have, yes, there are people that have been there for a long time, but there are many of them that I met that were like, look, I was a successful business person. This is what I did. I'm coming in, I'm going to do 2 terms, and I'm getting out. And I'm like, wow, I can see that might be a place in the future where I go, look, this is when I'm ready to serve. I feel called. I feel like I can really contribute, and I really understand how the state, the city, the country, how all of this stuff is organized and how the cogs and wheels work. And it's not that you don't want to get so far that you are jaded or that you are somehow looped into the system in some manipulative way, right? Yep. That's not where you want to get to. You don't want to be corrupted. But I do think that knowledge is power, and I do think that running would be something where I really would want to know a little bit more. You guys are talking about various things behind the scenes about running, and I'm like, I don't even have any idea what you're talking about right now.
I just want the audience to be aware that we did try our best, Charlie Kirk, to convince her. And I would say we're no Charlie Kirk, but we got close. I feel like we're making progress. Here's what I'd say. So Trump has ended a number of wars. We're on the precipice of this peace deal in Gaza, the prisoner exchange, the hostage exchange. Hopefully a ceasefire. Hopefully we get peace. And I will tell you that's what Charlie wanted in Israel. He just wanted peace. He wanted the war to be done. And I understand there's nuances and you campaigned a lot for President Trump. Mm-hmm. Sometimes with Charlie. Mm-hmm. I was at some of those events. Mm-hmm. What do you make? Did you of his however many months he's been in office? How do you feel about the state of things?
Well, I think that he's done some seriously incredible things. As he said, ended 7 wars. So he is a powerful influence. He is someone just like Charlie. He's playing chess, not checkers. He is incredible at getting, I think, things done however they need to get done. He's a great, I'm not going to say bluffer, but there's a lot of times where something seems very extreme, might affect a lot of people, and then at the 11 and a half hour all of a sudden it's like, oh, everything changes and it's going to be okay and it's not really going to affect them negatively.
We call it saber rattling.
Saber rattling. He's incredible at saber rattling.
Posturing, yes.
And so that's really powerful. You need someone that has that level, that kind of confidence, that backbone, and that ability to have so many people on his side. I think obviously the second time around, having time to plan his cabinet and have the right people in power, as opposed to just sort of getting what he got and then trying to figure it out once you started, that already began much longer before. So obviously, he has people that he can trust, which, as we're seeing, is just so important to have people around you that you can trust. But I think that as my hour wraps up, something I've been thinking about that I'd like to hit on is just the people's ability to do some critical thinking and make choices. We're talking a lot about the halftime show, and I think in general we just get so romanticized, so manipulated into ways of thinking, or new ways of thinking even at times, or just perpetuating ones that you already do. And whether it's through television, social media, the propaganda, the algorithms that build, and you kind of don't even know how to think for yourself anymore, and you just sort of slip into a trance. And I think that making this decision to have a different Super Bowl show is a reminder to have critical thinking and make your own choices. And the other day I was just in DC. I just got back last night, and I went and did the fit test, the Pete and Bobby fit test with or the fitness challenge with Tulsi
Pete
Gabbard,
Hegseth,
Laura Trump,
and
Bobby Kennedy.
Yes.
Yep, it's 50 pull-ups and 100 push-ups for time. And Dakota Meyer, Tulsi Gabbard, Laura Trump, and myself. And before we did it yesterday morning, I had a little bit of time when I landed, and I walked on down to the Jefferson Memorial. And I walked down there and I read all the plaques inside of the memorial, and I got done and I was like, wow. We used to talk about God all the time. It used to be everywhere. Your creator, all of this language was normal. And somehow culture removed it and made it inappropriate.
Yep.
Like there's an F1 driver named Lewis Hamilton. He lost his dog Roscoe. And I always remember that because I'm from Roscoe, Illinois. And I don't really reply to many people's Instagram or X or anything, but I made a reply because animals are just like near and dear to my heart, especially dogs. And I said something, I replied to him, and at the end I said, praying for your heart and Roscoe. Anyway, a few people replied and said the last part was totally inappropriate, and I'm like, what kind of disillusioned, like nihilistic world do we live in that you can't say praying for something without people being offended? Well, like you shouldn't say that.
That was Charlie's, I think, just truly remarkable ability to integrate his faith into everything that he did. And I genuinely believe that Charlie Kirk is a modern day founding father. And we need these moments to restore the republic, to restore people to our higher ideals and to our founding ideas. And Charlie did that. And the key to that was his faith. Yeah. So 30 seconds.
Don't get lulled into the ways. Think for yourself. And, we used to talk about God all the time, and all of a sudden we didn't. And, now all of a sudden it's okay to have satanic shows at halftime. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not after all. And maybe the reason that this is important, that we're doing this, is because it's not okay.